Hello everyone，大家晚上好，我是 LBank 的 Eric。我们今天邀请到了Sandbox 项目方，就是他们是一个 NFT 特别棒的一个项目，来跟大家探讨一下，就 Sandbox 在 NFT 上的一些布局，包括 NFT 整体项目的一些规划。
Okay. Hello everyone. It's very nice to have Sebastien Borget here. SAND is a very good project in the NFT field, and we're very happy and honored to have Sebastien here to discuss the NFT with us.
Hello, hi Eric. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yeah. Hello, Borget. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So. 开始我们今天第一个问题。Sandbox 差不多是在2018年首次宣布引入区块链整个生态系统，同时在两个热门的作品Sandbox 和 Sandbox 当中Sandbox 进化当中一战成名。那你可以为我们介绍一下 Sandbox 吗？
Okay, so Sandbox first announced the introduction of the blockchain ecosystem in 2018. And it became very popular with the two works, the Sandbox and Sandbox Evolution. And could you please introduce your project, the Sandbox, for us?
Absolutely. So today, Sandbox, it's a gaming virtual world on the Ethereum blockchain where users can create 3D assets as well as games and monetize them through the use of non-fungible tokens, NFTs, as well as SAND, the main utility token of the platform. We exist, the Sandbox IP is now 10 years old. It started on mobile as a 2D single player game where users could create their own pixelated world just by the touch of a finger, dropping soil, water, trees, playing with physics. And then progressively we added more elements, game characters, cars, etc. And they could share those creations to an online gallery where we had more than 70 million creation, millions of monthly active users. The game was a great success, but ultimately the success came from the content made by the users. And we had no way, us as a company, to reward the users for their contribution, for all the great content that contributed to get more players on the platform and the game. So indeed, toward the end of 2017, when we learned about NFTs, essentially with CryptoPunks and CryptoKitties, we immediately saw the potential to apply that technology not to virtual cats, but to user-generated content. Anything that made by creator, turning into player into a maker, allowing them to make their own NFTs. So finally, the creation they make on the platform, they could trade them, they could monetize them, they could earn a revenue from it. And that's how the idea of the new Sandbox, now 3D, multiplayer, multi-platform, came to birth. And that's the project we've now working on for more than 3 years, with already a large community, several successes in our key milestones, several products available in beta, and major partnership with IPs and brands.
Okay, next question 下一个问题。Sandbox 用户的经济系统主要由3个不同的 token 组成 ，SAND、LAND 和 Asset。是否可以帮我们介绍一下这3个 token 的应用场景还有使用方法？
Okay, so the user ecological economy of the Sandbox is mainly composed of 3 different types of tokens: SAND, LAND, and Asset. Could you please introduce application scenarios and user methods of these 3 tokens?
Absolutely. So on the Sandbox platform, we have several types of tokens. We have NFTs. Lands are digital spaces that will be used by game creators in order to publish their games for visitors, players of the virtual world to come and play in them. If they are not creators, you could still own a land and rent it for other creators to play with. Assets are NFTs that use the ERC 1155 standard and that can be used by game creator to put them into their lands to create like gameplay. So NFTs, they can be like game items with behaviors. They can be wearables, things that you put on an avatar to customize the look and feel. They can be equipment that improve the skills of your avatar and make it like run faster, stronger, more defense, more magic, more luck, more power. Or they can be art, aesthetically pleasing asset that took time to craft, are very unique and can decorate in your land. Sand, finally, is an ERC20. It's a cryptocurrency that can be exchanged on LBank. It's the utility token that support the Sandbox platform with being a medium of exchange. So you could use SAND to buy lands, to buy assets on the marketplace, to pay for accessing games, or to earn SAND when people play your games. You can use SAND to participate on the governance on the platform, or you can stake SAND as well to earn rewards, including SAND every month or NFTs as well.
Okay. Next question. 下一个NFT 的概念在最近几个月当中非常流行。你认为 NFT 生态当中未来将会有什么发展？你是否认为 NFT 加 DeFi 会是未来的主要的 NFT 的发展方向
？Okay, first of all, thanks for patience and thanks for detailed explanations of the previous two questions. And the third question is actually related to the concept of NFT. And so the concept of NFT has been very popular during recent months. What development do you think the NFT ecosystem will have in the future? Do you think the NFT plus DeFi type of projects will be the main development direction of NFT in the future?
That's a great question. We've been pioneers in the space of NFTs for more than 3 years now. The most popular NFT in Sandbox is still land. So virtual real estate, that concept that you own a piece of the metaverse, you own a piece of the map where the game will be published, is really important, one of the most successful. If you look at what happened over the past 2 months, 3 months in the space, like most successful NFTs sold like crypto art with Beeple that sold for $69 million, or crypto punks that are crypto collectible, or sport collectible with NBA Top Shot or So Rare, which are NFTs focused more on like the collection, the idea of creating collection, but those NFTs are very limited utility behind. So for us, we think like the main categories of NFTs that's going to catch up after is gaming NFTs. Those are NFTs with a true utility, specifically into metaverses, virtual world. Owning those NFT, you can use them inside games. They enable the play to earn model, where as a player, you can spend time to complete levels, to achieve progression, receive rewards, and turn those rewards, which could be NFTs or token, into a revenue stream by selling them on marketplaces or just exchanging them with other users, and as such earn a revenue. Additionally, and something that you just mentioned really interesting, is the space possibilities with NFTs are endless, in the sense like NFTs are digital assets on the blockchain which are interoperable, so they can be used across different services, platform, dApps, more than just the one they were originally created from, which means that typically you could stake those NFTs, for example, to generate a revenue stream. You could rent those NFTs. You can use the NFTs as a collateral to loan cryptocurrency on some platform. You can fractionalize the NFT as well to have multiple owners of it and give more liquidity on exchanges. There's many use cases that I think really are allowing a meta gameplay on top of those assets, a new economy. And yes, indeed, like DeFi and gaming is also part of it, part of like what all the possibilities that are offered in Sandbox and in general in the NFT space.
OK， 就刚才提到的，其实我们可以看到，就 NFT 现在其实无论是在游戏当中，在 DeFi， 包括一些在艺术品当中，就其实会特别火。
Okay, Thanks for your answer. And my follow-up question is, we can see that NFT, whether in the area of gaming, or whether in the area of DeFi, or whether in the area of collectibles, is very popular.
那你这边如何看待其他一些具有 NFT 概念的项目，比如说 Angel， 比如说 Cocos， 比如说其他的 whatever， 就是所有的 NFT 的项目，你觉得 Sandbox 有没有和其他 NFT 项目合作的一些计划？包括其实在这些项目当中，Sandbox 有什么特别突出的一些亮点？和这些 NFT 项目相比的话。
Okay, so and what do you think of other projects with NFT concepts, such as Engine, Decentraland, and Cocos? Does the Sandbox currently have plans to cooperate with these other NFT projects? And also, what do you think, what are the features of Sandbox that distinguish it from these other NFT-related projects?
That's a broad question. So I myself am also the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance, which is a non-profit organization that regroups more than 200 companies. Our role is to promote the adoption of blockchain technologies in the space, in the video game industry, the benefits of NFTs, decentralized gaming, DeFi, DAOs, and more, how they change the way can people interact, create, earn, engage with community through them. Engine is among the members. Many decentralized virtual world, Somnium Space, Crypto Voxel, Decentraland, some of them are members as well. I think in general, in the industry, we all share a common goal, which is to broaden the market as a whole, to drive more awareness, drive more adoption and usage through the users. We are one of the co-creators of the ERC 1155 standard together with NG. So there's topics we collaborate on and try to solve solutions together to some of the challenges that the industry has. It's really interesting that when we consider the industry as decentralized, that there's not just one single actor that wins this market, but there's a lot of choice for the users, a lot of different use cases, application. Each one offers something unique. Decentraland as a virtual world is focused on event, VR. Sandbox has more focus on gaming. Users can choose. They can have NFTs that potentially could be available on both and usable on both those virtual worlds through the benefit of interoperability. We are also, you mentioned Cocos, so I think Cocos is reaching out as a lot of reach to many developers. So if with Cocos that can help to onboard more game developers into the space, and they can also start embracing NFTs, it's a great thing. So overall, I'm really happy that the industry has so many strong communities and so many actors actively participating in building great product in it. So that's fantastic.
OK， 因为我本人其实是一个就游戏的深度爱好者，我不确定是否方便问一个就是提纲之外的问题。
I myself is I would say an ecstatic game lovers. So is it convenient that I ask you some questions that may be a little unrelated to the topic today?
No, sure, let's go. Very happy to broaden the conversation.
OK， 因为我们现在看到很多区块链的游戏，我个人认为它其实存在的一个最大的问题就是它的可玩性对比传统的游戏其实没有那么强。像传统的游戏，我们有数以10万、数以100万计的用户。那以中国市场举例，中国将近有1半的人口，差不多8亿的人口就曾经玩过游戏，但是目前在 NFT 领域，就是其实玩过 NFT 游戏的只是非常非常小的一个部分。当中有各式各样的原因，比如说它的门槛其实比较高，然后还有一个就是它的可玩性。就我们目前看到大部分 NFT 的游戏，它其实不如传统游戏那么有趣，那么好玩。那我不确定 Sandbox 在这方面就有没有一些尝试或者一些努力。
Okay, so I think the biggest problem of the blockchain game is that the level of playability is not very strong compared to the traditional games. In China, we have about half of the population, which is estimated about like 800 million people that have played games. But in the field of NFT, the people who have played NFT is actually, the population of people who have played NFT game is actually very small. And I think, well, probably because it's actually very technical. Being able to play NFT requires you to have a very high bar. But another problem is that I still think that the playability of NFT game is not as good as the traditional video games. So I'm not sure whether Sandbox has made any efforts in improving the level of playability of the games. And so this is my question.
It's a very interesting question, and definitely over the past 3 years, we already noticed like a great set of improvements in terms of the usability and accessibility to the NFTs. First of all, like one of the reasons why NFTs are getting so popular nowadays is how simple it is to understand, like compared to cryptocurrencies. Technically, like it's a digital asset, and what you see essentially, the digital representation, the visual representation of that digital asset is essentially what will drive or not your decision to purchase that NFT. So that's why sport collectible, NBA Top Shot video moments, crypto art, etc., are popular now, attract the collectors. It's easy to decide and see, yes, I like what I'm seeing, I want to buy it, and I can already predict how I'm going to use it if it's a game item. If it's a land and virtual real estate, I can also project quite easily what I can do on it because I'm already familiar with the concept of real estate in the real world. Like I can buy an empty land, build a business on top of it, generate revenue. I can buy a house, rent some of the rooms or apartment, rent it, generate revenue as well. With cryptocurrency study, it's harder typically to have this, I like this token instantly, I understand. You have to dig into the white paper, check the community, check the team background. A lot of research comes into play to make a more informed decision. So it's less of like a passion, but more like a brain type of decision. The second thing, like how to access NFTs, there's a lot of facilitating elements, including from the wallet solution, where now you can create a wallet just within an email or like a social web 2.0 login, Facebook, Twitter, or Google. You don't have to wonder anymore about the complexity of MetaMask to be able to access and store and exchange NFTs. How you can make payments, like there's a lot of blockchain projects that have also started to accept fiat ramp-up payments for users to be able to purchase their NFTs straight with a credit card and then use them on the different marketplaces. So, and that's proven to be an efficient strategy since we're seeing more and more a growth of the users on certain games like Sorare and NBA Top Shot or Axie Infinity typically. However, in Sandbox, our approach is still like, since we're promoting the adoption of SAND, we keep a little friction on how people can engage with SAND for the first time, because we believe that friction, and I say it's a little friction, it's not like huge friction, it's also needed for people to really understand what it means to own an NFT. Why is it different? What is that thing that I'm storing that element, I'm purchasing with something different? All of that is part of the knowledge that you acquire. And once you acquire that knowledge, you also realize the potential, the benefit, and be more actively engaged in the community. So if it's the simplicity sometimes of the NFTs, the abstraction, the removal of that notion that it's on the blockchain, it makes that there's no difference with the traditional digital content in a way. And so people tend to forget that they truly own those assets. They behave the same way. So that's, I think, been one angle at Sandbox that we've been successful at so far, like in terms of like the size of our community, more than 200,000 members, Twitter, 100,000 followers, Discord, 40,000, Twitter, Telegram, 25,000, and number of landowners, 5,600 unique landowners, which make us the largest most decentralized owned virtual land among all the decentralized lands, number of content on our marketplace that are NFTs as well, and so on and so on. Like we have been over the past 3 years bringing more users to the blockchain, more IPs and brands to the blockchain through our partnership with Atari, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Shaun the Sheep, Care Bears, the Smurf, etc. So it's been really exciting that a gaming virtual world like Sandbox has the potential to drive more and more users to adopt the technology, learn about the benefit of that technology, embrace the idea and become engaged in the community, enjoy the benefit of SAND on the platform, and enjoy becoming an NFT creator or user of NFTs as well.
OK， 很酷。就我听下来，就我会觉得，就我很认同你刚才说的。其实现在 NFT 游戏它主要有2个门槛，有2个问题。第一个其实是在它的使用的门槛，像你刚才说到的，用户他要熟练的使用各式各样的钱包，他要对数字货币有一定的认知，他才能来至少说可以玩这个东西。
Okay, cool. I totally agree with what you just said. And I think there are 2 kinds of bars of entering into NFT games. And first of all, I think it's about usability, like what you just said. Users need to know how to use wallet. They need to have a basic level of understanding of cryptocurrency, and they can come, and they can play. I mean, this is pretty high bar. This is just the first.
是，然后第2个是认知门槛，他不确定他买的这个 NFT 到底是个什么东西，它的价值到底在哪里，这东西到底是个啥玩意儿？就用户其实他对这块他是没有一个明确的一个想法的。
And the second bar is, I think, cognition bar, or the bar of understanding. They don't understand what NFT is. I mean, for the common people, they don't understand what NFT is, and they don't know what the value lies at NFT. They don't have a clear answer to the questions. So these are the 2 questions. These are the 2 bars, usability and also the bar of cognition.
但是 NFT 当中，就 NFT 如果和游戏结合的话，它是有一个传统游戏无法比拟的优势，它有激励层。所谓的激励层其实就是它的代币。那我特别好奇的就是，我们可以看到 SAND 这个代币，它在过去的半年当中，它的在二级市场的表现其实是非常惊人的。我特别想知道的就是，我们项目到底是通过如何来对这个项目进行运作，让我们的项目在二级市场上可以有这么好的一个表现？就它背后的一个产品的逻辑到底在哪里？它背后的一个价值的逻辑到底在哪里？
Okay, but apart from the 2 bars I mentioned, I think NFTs actually has the natural advantage to be combined with the games because we can incentivize. We have a level of incentivization. We have the tokens. And so I'm very curious about how SAND in the past half years, how it increases value by so dramatically in on the exchange. And so I wanted to know that how the program operated, how the program designed the product, the logic behind the designing of the product, and also the value statement of designing the product that helps you boost the value of SAND on the exchange.
Well, I think like the value of a token comes from like the adoption, the utility, and the demand behind. So those are fundamentals that drive why a token would increase or not in value. And at the Sandbox, I think we have done a good job at delivering on our promises, like launching the different products like the voxel editor, the game maker, the marketplace in beta. We have done various land sales that use SAND token, demonstrating the utility of the token. And all of them have always been sold out within seconds to minutes. We've brought in major IPs and partners to make the NFT for the first time and enable the users to build their own games, adventures, and stories with those NFTs. So the community sees like which projects I've been building for a long time, I've been already delivering, I have a great community, I have tokens that can be correlated to some tangible value, whereas projects that don't. typically SAND progressively through. It was not done in a day or a week or a month. It took us years to achieve that, to build a team, to build a product. We took months to list progressively into more and more exchange around the world, facilitating the access to SAND token to users in every country, including now in the US, in Korea, in China, in the rest of the world. And also to show that SAND as a gaming, if you're interested into gaming, but you don't really know which project to particularly invest into or follow. If you're interested in NFT, but you don't know also, SAND makes an interesting value proposition for both gaming and NFT tokens. Because, well, the world is there, you can see the content, you can try the tool, you can see the community, you can see how active users are creating content with those tools. So it's appealing, like you feel like there's always something going on in Sandbox. And that's essentially the beauty of user-generated content. There's always something going on. And so it's a great match for the value proposition.
很酷。那在中国，我们在区块链，我们一直说的话就是叫因为相信，所以才看见。就是因为区块链它其实变化太快了，我们只有相信这件事情，然后慢慢的时间会来见证这个事情。这就是刚才你说的，就 Sandbox 在做的一些事情。我们告诉用户我们要做什么，但是这个事情它并不是一蹴而就的，我们需要时间，一步步的 Sandbox 把我们承诺过的事情对我们的用户呈现了，所以 Sandbox 自然而然其实有个不错的表现。我比较好奇的就是在 Sandbox， 我不确定你们未来你们是怎么样来布局这个事情的，在 NFT 领域你们还有哪些想法？你们未来是怎么规划的？
Cool. You know, in China, in the field of blockchain, I mean, the group of people in China who are in the blockchain has a very famous saying that you believe, then you see. If you believe, you see. Only if you believe, you can see the establishment or the fulfillment of this thing. And I think that's what Sandbox did. Sandbox did all this progressively, step by step, and delivered processes. And that's why Sandbox has, well, made great achievement in the past. But I'm not sure how you're going to deploy your plan in the future. Do you still have any ideas, like innovative ideas in the NFT field? And what is your plan? This is what I want to know.
Absolutely. Well, the plan is still very aligned with what we've been doing. The original vision that we started 3 years ago, we're creating the tools to empower the creators to create games, publish games on their land, monetize games, engage and retain the users behind. So it's not just about making a game and launching it. It's also about how do you keep that game updated, run events, run activities, so people come back in it and you can create a loyal audience. And that's all the different systems that we're putting in place. Additionally, true to the original vision, we are going to work on how to make Sandbox progressively more decentralized. So within the next 2 to 3 years, 100% of the land are owned by users, 100% of the SAND are owned by the users as well. And essentially, it will be governed. It's a virtual world that's going to be governed by the users themselves.
很棒 ，OK， 就在区块链领域，我们叫这个叫做无需许可。那我听下来，其实我们 Sandbox 想做的事情就是给到一个用户一个无需许可的一个 NFT 的一个游戏世界，让用户可以自由的去通过我们这个工具来创造他们喜欢的游戏，然后可以在里面尽情的一个畅玩。
Now this is more than cool. It's more than cool. It's great. It's great now. So in the area of blockchain, we say that this is permissionless is a very important feature of blockchain. So users do not need to gain permissions to get into the NFT games. And I think you empower users by giving them tools to help them create the games they like. I think this is more than cool.
OK，
Thank
然
you.
后接下来的话，有几个是来自我们推特用户的一些问题，希望可以回答一下。
Now, the following questions come from our Twitter followers, and I hope you can answer those questions.
OK， 就我们现在一直在说的，就是很多人会认为现在 NFT 因为大量的 NFT 项目，其实从二级市场他们的币价已经就涨幅已经非常夸张了。我们会说 NFT 现在是否是泡沫？然后泡沫如果说破灭的话，我们 Sandbox 这个项目接下来会怎么样？然后他们想问你对 NFT 整体的市场如何预测？
Okay, so now as we can see, many tokens of NFT projects, programs have increased dramatically on the exchange. And some people are saying that this is a big bubble. And what do you think is the future trending of NFT in your opinion? And so.
I think indeed, there are always, for every project, users have to be careful, what is it concretely that they are investing in terms of token? What is the utility? What's the product behind? The fact that young projects have been able to raise or have token valuation that maybe not correlated with some strong fundamental is not a good sign. However, that shouldn't remove the fact that I would say the large amount of projects have been building for years. They've been established. They have strong communities around it, and community really is the key aspect everyone should look at first. And if you look at NFTs, as I was mentioning, art, sport collectible have been recently rising over the past 2 months. But game items, land is still very undervalued, in my opinion. Why? We are just scratching the surface here, or the potential utility and use case for those NFTs. There are, roughly speaking, 2.5 billion gamers out there, whereas there's still just millions of users who enter the NFT space. So it's still such a wide gap. It's not even a single 1% of the potential market size that I've discovered about NFTs. And not all of the NFTs will receive the same value. Some probably 30% of the NFT will concentrate 70% of the value, and then it will be a long tail. You just have to research the project and the NFT with good utility, great use case, and that makes sense over a long term. If you just get it because and you forget it you forget the next day about that NFT, it's probably not a good sign.
有一个其实我不太认同 Borget 的点啊，就是他刚才说可能30%的项目会占到70%的一个市值，但是其实我个人的一个认知，我认为可能10%的项目可能会占据整个 NFT 市场里面90%的市值。就像他刚才说的，其实现在很多 NFT 粗制滥造的项目特别多。那当 LBank 去上线一个项目，或者说当我们有时候会对项目投资的时候，我一般会问项目一个问题，就是如果说你拿不到任何1分钱，这件事情你是否还愿意做？如果说你没有任何一个投资人，这项目你是否还会让它持续发展？如果说他可以回答我是，那我会觉得这是大有可为的。但是如果说他只是蹭一波热点，觉得 NFT 在我这个整个赛道火，所以他要搞这个项目，那其实我会觉得这样的项目并不长久。而现在就像刚才说的 NFT 里面可能有不少项目都是这样的情况，就我个人的认为会觉得这种项目其实大部分都是就没有任何的价值。
There's actually one point you just brought out that I don't totally agree with. You said that 30% of the projects will account for 70% of the total value. I actually think that 10% of the programs will account for 90% of the total value, because I've seen so many, bad programs. And whenever we invest the program, I will ask a question. I will ask the leader of the team that if there's no investors investing in your program, are you continuing doing this? If the answer is yes, then I think the program will be great. If if the team would just want to be a free rider of the topics, and I think the team would not be long. And there are just too many projects related to NFT now. Most of them are just valueless.
OK， 并且就其实我OK。
Yeah, I mean, you have anything to say about all this?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to sound too extreme, but probably you're right in the percentage. More right than I am on the percentages.
就是我也认同你刚才说的，其实就 NFT， 其实我会觉得它是一个非常大的赛道，无论是在游戏或者在艺术品，或者说在去中心化金融，或者在整个金融领域，就 NFT 其实对比刚才那些只是一个很小的板块，但是 NFT 对刚才的三者其实有个极大的促进作用的。那我们现在的市值浅小，但是我们看到的，无论是它的用户数，还是它的被关注度，其实是越来越不断的上涨的。那随之我会觉得整体的 NFT 的估值会不断的上涨。
Okay, I actually agree most of what you just said, to be real sure. NFT is a very, I would say, is a very, very broad and big running track, regardless of the area, whether it is in the area of gaming, in the art collectibles, or in DeFi. And NFT has made a great advancement in promoting these areas. And also, whether it is about the number of users or the people who are actually following NFT topics on the social medias, they are all increasing. They are all increasing.
OK， 然后我们今天其实有一个报道，不知道你有没有关注到，就是说一个日本的 AV 女优，她发行了一个就是自己的一个 NFT， 就可能会有个 NFT 的一个产品马上要面世，就我不知道你对这个事情有什么看法。
Okay, and today we have a news about wow. Japanese female actor, Japanese female actor. That's the only thing I can say. Okay, I'm a bad translator. So we have a piece of news about a Japanese female actor publishing her own product, video product, and converted it into NFT. And do you have any comments about this news?
Well, I was not aware of the news, so I need to check in details. What does that mean to convert the product into an NFT, basically? If it's just turning into a digital copy of the product, owning your own limited edition of it, yes, cool, maybe. Maybe you receive both the physical and the digital. Yeah, cool, maybe. But what's the real value for your fans, for your community behind? Like, what does it mean for this Japanese actress to have an NFT? Or if I broaden the picture, like what does it mean for brand or celebrity to have presence in the metaverse, in the future of the virtual world, in metaverse with NFTs? And I think it should go beyond that. It should be focused on like offering to their community, to their fan, ways for them to connect closer to the people they are fan of, to get exclusive content, to participate in activities like through the ownership of that NFT, maybe they can get access to exclusive events, virtual concerts, premiere in the virtual world. They can continue receiving exclusive content over time. So it creates a unique relationship that only the owner of that NFT would be receiving. And there's no one solution fits all, because every artist has specific, every brand, every celebrity has topics that are closer to their heart, closer to the heart of their community that they specialize into. And they should really think like, what does it mean for me to engage into this new medium, this new platform that is NFT? Because I do believe NFT is an actual platform of its own. It's like the NFT and the metaverse are like the social media, the Twitter, the TikTok of the past. And in that sense, you don't just do a one-time thing when you enter a social media account, when you launch yourself on Weibo, WeChat, TikTok, etc. You think of a full strategy and what you want to offer as exclusive content, how you want to reply to the user, how you're going to build a plan for the next months and years to come. And I think like they should approach it the same way with NFT. You don't just do a one quick thing and that's done just to say you did it. You did it with a long-term vision. Like imagine your strategy for the next 10 years with NFTs.
OK， 所以我们认为的 NFT， 它其实目前来说，更多的它应该是被用来实际解决一些问题。我在参加上一个会的时候，我们讨论到区块链，我们觉得就是2001年和2017年整个区块链这个牛市最大的不同在于，2017年我们是用区块链在解决问题，但是2017年的时候，我们是用区块链在讲故事。那我想知道您这边认为就是 NFT 未来的趋势到底是怎么样的？你觉得 NFT 现在面临的最大缺陷是什么 ？NFT 应该被用来解决哪些问题？然后具体到 Sandbox 这个项目，你们在如何尝试解决这些问题？
Okay, thank you so much for answering some unrelated questions. Okay, so I think NFT can be used to solve many practical problems. You know, in the last meeting, in the meeting of LBank, we had a discussion of blockchain, and we said that in 2017, about 4 years ago, a lot of people were just fabricating stories. They were not really solving problems. But now we're really solving problems. And what do you think is the future trend of NFT? And specifically, what do you think would be the most challenging problems of NFT? And what does Sandbox do, or what is Sandbox doing now to get itself fully prepared to face the challenges?
Well, there's many challenges as usual, like launching a virtual world to everyone is a challenge. You don't want it to be too empty. You want to focus on the fun first. Like if you launch a place, a new world, or even like a shopping mall, and half of the store are open, there's nobody that comes, it's a boring experience. You're not going to come back the next day, even if someone tells you, yeah, one shop has opened, you know? So it's important to not miss your launch. Make sure you have the great content, the great activities, thing that will drive people back into it. Other challenges is definitely related to by the scalability of the layer one and how we facilitate transaction, making sure that it can accommodate to the next million of users without recreating your whole technology from scratch. So it's important to keep that in mind, not sacrifice the usability, not sacrifice everything you've built for the sake of the promise of a new chain that haven't yet been battle tested at that same level or scale, or doesn't offer yet the same equivalent in terms of a user experience, or might be missing some of the features you need in comparison. Those are important factors to consider as well. I would say there will be more challenges along the road that we think of in advance. It's part also of like what makes us as a team and in general some of the project being able to grow and be resilient over time. Like we've been through the difficult time in 2018 and 19 when it was not yet the NFT hype, as you said. We hope we'll still be there, continuing to build, onboarding more users, more creators, more gamers into 2021, 22, and the years further along, following with the capacity to follow on our plans.
OK， 行，就其实有一个是我特别认同的点，就现在其实无论是 NFT 也好，包括说的一些 DeFi 项目也好，当中我们现在有一个特别严峻的问题摆在我面前，就是整体的一个性能问题。就算是一个题外话，我不确定你对就是因为大部分的现在 NFT 其实都是在以太坊上面，你对以太坊包括 Layer 2就未来的这些东西，你有什么看法？就包括一些解决方案。
Okay, one thing you just said, and I think I also agree with, is about the scalability and the performance of the chain. And you know, most of the NFT projects are located at Ethereum, and And what do you think the future of Ethereum in terms of the scalability and also in terms of the layer 2?
Well, that's a great question. It's one of the points I was alluding to, and I wanted to mention, like, essentially, Ethereum is a blockchain that has the largest developers community as of now, the largest tool set, so you don't need to reinvent everything. Smart contracts are ready. You can build standards like ERC-2055 as we did. And we've been building on Ethereum for now 3 years. It's operational. You can use and interact with it. So now Ethereum 2.0 is coming. It's coming sooner than expected. It has great benefits that are interesting. And this is already great because all of the developers should be able to benefit from it in a more or less seamless manner. In the meantime, there are solutions, bridges typically. There are layer 2 solution that offers more or less of certain feature set that are important to look at in case of wallet compatibility, smart contract compatibility, NFT compatibility, and a few other things. But overall, they are doing already a great job with some of products running live. So that's really good to know. There are other chains where NFTs are growing as well. So that's fantastic because it means like new project can come. They don't necessarily need to be all concentrated on one blockchain, like NFTs on Flow, NFTs on Wax, NFTs on Binance Smart Chain. Just many. It shows that the success of the dApp do not rely anymore on the success of the network or protocol behind. And like users are attracted first by the value, the value of the game to their eye, the value of the NFTs, the fun. That are great signs. So all I'm saying, like in 2021, the picture is a little bit different than it used to be a few years ago. But overall, as a team that builds a product, once you choose a technology, you usually try to stick to it because you're going to invest for many years in development for that.
OK， 就这个其实很 whatever， 就是我们看到，其实 Sandbox 在做各式各样的尝试，无论是在刚才说到的，比如说币安智能链上，或者其他的一些 Layer 2的方向，都在做一些尝试。我比较好奇啊，就是除了币安智能链，就 BSC 上面，我们有没有做过一些，比如说最近我们讨论比较多的，比如说 Solana， 比如说可能比如说 Heco， 或者比如说那个叫Flow 上面，就我不确定我在这些供链上面，我们有没有一些什么计划？
Okay, we've seen that Sandbox has tried many things. It has tried, like you said, the Binance chain, blockchain, and also the layer 2. But apart from the Binance smart chain, we know that there are many other chains like Solana, Heco, Flow. Does Sandbox have any plans about deploying its project on these pre-mentioned public chains?
So, well, as I mentioned, like it's really interesting to see like the cards are different in 2021. There are NFTs appearing into multiple of those chains. We've been looking more carefully at which feature set are being supported or not. Not all the blockchain are ready to adopt yet all the whole stack that we've developed at Sandbox, which rely on pretty complex smart contracts, typically for supporting user-generated content NFTs. The one approach that we found and could be working really well is the notion of bridges. So the faculty for users to move their asset from Ethereum layer 1 to other chains and be able then to enjoy other benefits there, like swapping at cheaper fees, etc. And that's, I think, more immediate value proposition for everyone. That can be a middle ground solution for the users without having the project move entirely to a new chain, which would mean a lot of engineering work before we move. We instead of building other features of the platform. Overall, we're open. We look at very many chains, but we're careful as well as what features they support.
OK， 好，因为时间关系啊，就是到我们今天最后一个问题，也是来自我们推特的一个用户，他想问，就是最近关于 NFT 的许多讨论和炒作，都其实集中在比如说是艺术品或者在游戏上面。那游戏上面的典型其实就是 Sandbox，他想确认，就是你觉得 NFT 技术有没有一些其他可能的一些应用，可能在哪些地方会落下来，会直接落地？
Because thank you very much. Because of time constraint, one last question also from our Twitter user, our Twitter follower.
Okay.
And a lot of the hype around NFT has been focused on digital art or licensed collectibles, and also on the games like our beloved Sandbox, right? But what do you personally see as some other compelling applications or use cases for NFT technology?
As I mentioned, NFTs can be any sort of digital asset class. They can represent like domain names, they can represent art, collectibles, virtual lands, wearables, fashion, like tokenized assets, can be like wine, luxury cars, real world properties. The idea is like there's really no limit in what they can be used for. And I think the more people are using and interacting with NFTs and understanding the benefit, the more use case we're going to see as well. And that's makes the space really exciting.
就我们可以看到，其实我们一直会在说的一句话，就是所有东西其实很大一部分程度都可以被用来作为一个 NFT 代币，就万物皆可 NFT。
Yeah, something we've been saying that everything to a large extent can be NFTized, can be converted into NFT. Yeah.
好，那最后也感谢 Borget 今天的一个时间，感谢接受 LBank 的一个采访，让更多的用户知道了 Sandbox 未来的一些规划，包括知道了 NFT 未来的可能的一些方向。
Okay, at last, thank you so much, Sebastien, and we're very thankful and grateful that you would love to be interviewed by LBank, and now a lot of users in our community will know the plan of Sandbox and the strategies of Sandbox. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Borget 有没有什么要对 LBank 的用户说的？
Do you have anything that you want to say to the users of LBank?
But thank you for the question and your interest. Glad to be here to chat, to discuss about NFTs, to discuss the potential, to discuss about the Sandbox, the metaverse, Sand token as well. And I hope that you enjoyed learning more about Sandbox and enter the metaverse through it. Discover NFTs maybe for the first time, have a look, what is a land, what is an NFT on our marketplace. Happy to continue the conversation over our social media channels where our community can answer any of your questions as well. And we hope to see you again in the metaverse and Sandbox. Thank you. 谢谢你们。
谢谢。
Thank you. Thank you so much. The last thank you comes from the translator.
Bye bye. 再见。
拜拜。
再见。
See you.